Because as you see here, both players drafted by the franchise in 2012. Since then, Seattle has recorded 8 10-win seasons, 8 playoff berths, 9 playoff wins. Prior to drafting those players in 2012, the Seahawks had just 5 10-win seasons, 11 playoff berths, and 8 playoff wins over the franchise's previous 36 seasons combined. So both players did a ton for this franchise. And you know, as we're saying, clearly the end of something great in Seattle. But when you think about Russ and the move for him personally, you like what he did.
Absolutely. I think that Russell Wilson has never been in a situation like he's in now. You know, if we look at this strictly onto the field, Laura, I'd say 2 things. Number one, Russell Wilson has never in his career had high level or elite level skill talent with high level or elite level scheme. He's had some really good players around him, but an offense that was run-centric, first down runs all the time, and then a drop-back pass game was like, hey, Russ, bail us out. But he's never had what he's got in Denver right now, which is good players when it comes to guys like Jerry Jeudy and their 2 backs, Javonte Williams and Melvin Gordon and KJ Hamler and Cortland Sutton, and now a scheme with their head coach, Nathaniel Hackett, bringing over that is predicated on quarterbacks playing awesome football. And the second thing I'd say is this, Laura. If we were going to find something on the field that Russell Wilson did not do well in his career, or certainly recently, it's he's trying to push the ball downfield so much. He's trying to always create these big plays. And that sometimes leads for those sacks that have left us head scratching. Like, you're trying to create so much, and that's been a flaw of his. Well, this offense isn't that he's going to play in Denver. This is a catch-and-throw offense for the great deal of it. Now, it's also going to allow him to live in that play-action world where if he wants to push the ball downfield, he can, or create some of those chunk throws on big in-breaking routes. If you look at Aaron Rodgers, recently it's been some of the RPO game that they've created with matchups to get the ball in his hands so quickly. So I think the scheme is going to really minimize, again, what Russell Wilson's maybe greatest flaw or greatest kryptonite has been. And that's why I think we could very well see the best Russell Wilson we've seen in his career.
Dan, I think we will see the best Russell Wilson that we've seen in his career, but I think you saying that he's never had elite-level skill players around him with elite-level scheme is kind of a shot in the face, you know, kicking the nuts to every coach he's ever had on the offensive side of the ball. All those guys are trying to put him in the best situation, but Russ is a guy that likes to be creative, and he's always been the one who's going to use his feet a little bit. He's going to exit the pocket a little bit early, but he's made plays. So even if he gets sacked or holds on to the ball too long, you accept that because the benefits from it and the plays that he makes off of those types of plays warrant it. But for me, this is an interesting situation for Russell because now he's put all the pressure on himself. This is what he wanted, right? He was walking around the last 2 off seasons like the guy in the meme, walking with his girlfriend, looking back at the other girl like, man, I think it might be better over there, wondering, imagining, and now he got what he wanted. And there's people out there who are detractors of him and say you shouldn't let Russ cook because he'll burn the food. So now he's got to make it work or they will crucify him for this. I think it's by far one of the better offensive young skilled talent that he's ever had in his career. And he's going to be throwing moon balls in Denver in that thin air for years to come.
Well, look, if we go back and look at some of the great quarterbacks in NFL history, there's been an increasing trend and pattern for great quarterbacks to finish their careers in other cities and to have that as a challenge in which many of them have responded. Joe Montana leaves San Francisco unthinkably to go to Kansas City, plays very well there. Peyton Manning leaves Indianapolis, goes to Denver, wins a Super Bowl. Tom Brady leaves New England, goes to Tampa, wins a Super Bowl. Even last offseason, Matthew Stafford traded away, goes to Los Angeles, wins a Super Bowl. There's something about the challenge of going to a new place in a new environment with new teammates that I think helps elevate the play of everybody involved. Russell knows that everybody's watching him this year, and guess what? He breathes an injection of energy and life into a franchise that desperately needed it because that team had become largely irrelevant, and there's no team that's more relevant in that region of the country than the Denver Broncos. But they had become something of a sleepy-type team that not a lot of people cared about. Russell brings energy. He brings excitement back to that team. And in turn, they give it to him as the next challenge in his career as he tries to rise up and get back to the great heights that he achieved in Seattle.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.